Welcome to Down to Earth, the podcast for cigar smokers, whiskey drinkers, and for the people just looking to kick back, light up, and have a good time. I'm your host, Jerry, and I'm joined by, as always, my co-host, Gio and Caleb. Fellas. We are straight off the plane, lighting the flame. Caleb?
I like that. That was a good rhyme right there.
That's
Off the plane, light the flame.
That's ASAP Ferg.
Oh, okay.
It's an actual song.
I was wondering if you were like working on that all day from like, just sleeping in and working on that.
Nope.
I get it now.
That's ASAP Ferg work.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Straight off the plane, lighting the flame.
Tired today. The stupid thing I did. Why don't I ever take the day off coming back from a vacation? I should take the next day off instead of hopping right into work. I'd never do that.
Thankfully, I was off. I will tell you, it took a lot of pressure off of me to just know that I didn't have to really sweat going to work today. It was actually really nice.
I'm going to be honest. If we worked today, I was not going in.
I agree. Gio, how are you?
Same boat. Travel is rough, especially. So, yes, I'm not going to say we didn't have fun on this trip.
I had a blast.
But god damn, is it so much walking and our legs so sore after it's all done.
I just want to throw it out there. There's so much to talk about. Obviously, we just had a really hectic, crazy weekend at PCA 2025 in New Orleans. But we're lucky to be here in Buffalo right now.
Yeah.
I thought the plane was crashing. The landing that this
pilot,
this captain, this female captain, she almost killed us. And in a weird way, I felt like at the speed we were going and then where we were on the runway, I think we had an opportunity at 30K, man. And I'm not ever wishing for it, but I mean, like, I think we would have been okay on that one.
Were they Was it Delta too?
It was Delta. it was Delta, and I'm not poking fun here. I'm just saying we flew Delta, and basically the entire situation that happened in Toronto, just minus the wind and the snow, basically happened.
If this was today, we would be in some trouble. It was windy as fuck today.
It was pretty freaky. When we hit the ground, what'd you think happened?
I thought the
tires blew out.
The tires blew out, or whatever, like the airplane equivalent of struts is popped.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tie rod.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely a different name for an airplane, but this would be a question for your cousin.
We have a lot to get to, obviously.
Yeah,
but
before we get into all of the shenanigans from PCA and the nonsense that occurred, just would like to take a moment to shout out the title sponsor of our show, Crown Heads, John Huber. We sat down at the show multiple times. Pleasure to, see in person, hang out. You guys are all good to us. Miguel, John, Jake, Danny Hennessy, anyone else I forgot to mention. You guys are fucking awesome. There is not a moment that, like, if we wanted to try a new cigar, Tim Osgender, I can't forget, shout out Oz Family Cigars. And, their rebrand was definitely a big part of the PCA. I thought, like, it was, pretty cool to be able to see their whole, just booth right when you walked in pretty much. But that being said, be on the lookout for all their new releases, the Broadway, Caratoba, and, guys, they did a full, like, kind of rebrand with the rebrand too. That works.
Mission failed successfully.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my favorite statement.
Yeah.
But, check it out. You guys will be able to do some collecting here. The new logos and bands for Mil Diaz, La Imperiosa. It's got a real cool look to it. The new boxes. When you see them in your, local brick and mortar, that's real sharp. It's going to make the brand pop, and I'm really happy for it. And, the new hat, Jerry's rocking it right now. The blacked out with the gold crown. It's probably my favorite hat.
I don't even know it's so dark. If you can see the new Crown Heads logo, which they obviously just released like a week and a half ago before the show. Yeah. It looks sick. It's a dope ass hat.
Yeah, they got we have the fitted one with the white logo, but this is my personal favorite so far. I got so many compliments about that hat in the literal 2 days I was there.
It's a fact.
It was like, and you were there, they're like, what the fuck?
I didn't wear any brand stuff this weekend. I just kind of like wore our stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wore like my Boston Red Sox stuff and like the Red Sox hat. I don't know. It came in. I really liked it. I was like, oh, it's a great fit. I'm just going to wear this weekend. I also don't like to pack too heavy.
True. I don't know. I went in wearing neutral color crown head stuff, like the gator one. Not. It's, we know what it means.
We know. It's the king crocodile.
Yeah. Gators. But man, they had a great show, and guys, there's going to be plenty of products, stuff that they haven't even gotten into yet. I'm sure you all will be in your smoking future very soon. Make sure you're checking out Crown Heads.
Make sure you guys are checking out Crown Heads. Great job, John. Absolute pleasure to see you at the show. Love you, bro. I can't say enough good things. I mean,
hope you guys like that interview that we did with John. Go check it out on the Instagram page.
Soon to be on the YouTube as well. I've been cranking shit out.
A lot of catching up.
Yeah. Just like media, content, just trying to get everything out there. I think last year what we did was, we kind of just released it on the Patreon. And I'll be honest, I feel like it was a missed opportunity for us. We really do some good interviews, and we have a lot of fun, and I think it's a little more informal than what most people are used to being asked. So I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's an opportunity for people to see who we really are, and I think it was even more fun to watch people's reactions in person while we were asking them crazy questions. So I thought it was pretty funny. So it was a great time.
It's just nice to not all those people we get to have in person at once in such short periods of time. And I mean, we'll talk more about this part of the show later. I think that I noticed that was different from the last couple of years. But before we get into any more of the PCA shenanigans, I know this is like the third time I've said shenanigans. You don't have to pistol whip me. You guys know that movie reference, I hope.
What are we smoking, Gio? What are we smoking?
Before I get into
completely
that,
new brand.
Got to give a shout out to our boys, Andrew and Dave from Small Batch Cigar, the official cigar introduction sponsor of the show. So, guys, make sure you're checking out Small Batch Cigar using code HERF, HERF, save 10%. Guys, they're going to have a ton of new shit from PCA. We saw Dave there briefly. Awesome guys. And be sure to, be buying from a great brick and mortar, online, the official online cigar shop of the
official online marketplace of the Down to Herf podcast.
We should have our boy that we met this weekend.
I actually think that would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Dave, it was great seeing you at the show. Didn't get to see Andrew. I'm sure you guys were absolutely slammed at the show. Obviously, there was a lot of content, a lot of things going on. I know you guys make your YouTube videos, and you guys are big into content as well. Dave, awesome to see you. I mean, everybody is just slammed when they're at the show. It's just like sometimes when you're so busy, it's like, oh man, I would like to just have a beer with this guy and sit down, but unfortunately, sometimes time isn't exactly on our side while we're at the show. But Dave, it was great to see you. Make sure you guys are getting out there and checking out Small Batch for all your cigar needs. Gio, what are we smoking?
All right, guys. So we are going to be smoking a show first, and probably a lot of shows first. New brand. It is called ChiMolly. So this brand we actually came across at the show. It started, 5-6 months ago, Jerry, did you say?
I was talking to the owner. He told me 5 months ago that they started out of LA.
Damn, how did they get a booth like that fast? Like, don't you got a book like in a year or two?
Shmoney, baby.
Yes.
Money talks. They're like, yeah, we'll move something around. We'll figure out a corner space.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounded like his envision for the next few shows is a way bigger booth and a way better booth. So it seems like it's a brand that wants to grow, and it seems like it's eager to grow. So obviously having that conversation with him was pretty cool. So I feel like next year, not being so like caught up in time, I feel like they're going to be able to do a little more.
Yeah. And on top of it, man, those guys, they ended up being kind of the talk of the show.
A lot of people were talking about them.
Yeah. So I'll give the intro of the cigar now. So we are smoking the ChiMolly Pioneer Robusto E. It's going to be a 6x50 Robusto Extra. Also comes in a traditional Robusto that is 5x50. Ironically, for whatever reason, they're both $16. At least that's what Half Wheel has their MSRP listed at. Could be wrong. It's just this brand is so new, I can't fact check that against other, pages. So here's the details on this bad boy. This is going to be a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper over a Nicaraguan binder and then fillers from the Dominican and Nicaragua. So this has they have two other blends. They're called the Pengu and the Dynasty, and these are all made at the Mi Havana factory. So we got a nice little mix there. I mean, I think it's appropriate to kind of talk about the company's offerings a little bit. Obviously, we are smoking the broadleaf. That is the Dynasty. The Pioneer. I'm fucking it up already.
I was going to say, you definitely said Pioneer, and I wrote it down so I can start taking my notes. And then, it's Pioneer, just like I wrote.
Yes.
Dynasty's the blue.
The Dynasty's the blue. That's the Corojo.
Corojo, and then they had like a...
it's called, I don't want to say something offensive in Chinese, but it's called the Pengu. Hopefully I said that properly.
Bro, you're canceled.
Yeah, right? It means like some horrible statement or something like that. But that is their Habano, I believe they said, right?
I think you said Ecuadorian Habano.
Yeah, Ecuador. So it was a Habano wrapper. I'm looking forward to trying the Dynasty. They also were nice enough to let us sample that. Jerry, thanks for making sure you were able to pull that one off for me. Because we had agreed.
You're a big Corojo guy. I know. I looked at the sizes. I looked at what they had for offerings, and
we did the opposite. I was like, oh, perfect. They got a broadleaf. Hey, Jerry, want to get the broadleafs? They were nice enough to do it. And then you're like, oh, what's this? Can we try this too? We tag teamed it.
I hate to say it.
Ask.
It doesn't. Well, I mean, it's a new company.
Yeah,
you know,
they might have limited amounts. You know.
No, they were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
they were great.
A couple of young guys.
They couldn't have been damn near. They were damn near younger than we are.
Oh, for sure. They were definitely in their 20s. I don't think any of them was 30.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were in their 30s. I can tell you that.
Yeah, they were young. Look like they haven't ever shaved.
They looked healthy. They didn't look run down and you know fighting through
knee
injuries or back injuries or
I don't know if they were old enough to drink.
Maybe.
I'm sure they were.
I don't know about Wenbin. He was pretty young. he was like the youngest one.
But I mean, this is like one of my favorite parts about PCA, because there's always like one or two new companies that put out something that kind of blows you away. For I think like 2 years ago, it was Don Doroteo with the Salt of the Earth, and that thing was a fucking banger. I can only imagine what else we're going to get. So far, I'm liking how this thing is smoking. I'll say that much. And with newer companies, it's definitely something you want to see. Get in early, guys, because right now this is a $16 cigar. Who knows? In fucking 3 years, could be like Sober Mesas and 25.
What I appreciated, honestly, was the fact that they didn't come in at a crazy price point. Right. Newer brand. Obviously, this is an industry that most companies are built on reputation through years and years and years, and just their products speak for themselves. But it was nice to see that. Caleb, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I like seeing the company. This is a couple of young guys. They're nice, friendly. Looking forward to maybe getting an interview with them. They'll, further down the road, sampling their other stuff.
You want to kind of talk about what we're drinking today?
All right, what we're drinking? Well, this is an easy one for me. We got some Wegmans lemon lime sparkling water. The trip did us some damage to the boys' liver and stuff like that. So I think today, after like 4 days of drinking straight, a lot of beers, not so much whiskey, a lot of beers, but I think we're ready to just give ourselves a little break. We did, I had to keep with the Asian theme, so, I did sneakily pour a little bit of Hibiki Centauri whiskey. We did it a long time ago, but I was like, you know what? I'll just do one. A little hair of the dog.
And we know it's Japanese. Caleb's not, insulting cultures here.
Yeah, I didn't mean to mix match the Japanese and Chinese, but that's what we got for the picture.
It wouldn't be the first time you did it.
Yeah.
Remember where there was a kimono on the show?
For what, the Year of the Dragon?
Yeah, it's the Chinese Zodiac, and he wore a Japanese garment. Well, for that women wear.
Yeah.
Culture appropriation, its finest. It means I'm flattered by all Asian cultures, so I want to fit in.
Yeah.
I even had a mustache.
Unlike you, did not sneak a pour. I'm currently still drinking Pedialyte and seltzer water because,
we hurt our livers a lot.
I didn't hurt my liver. I just feel like I had a lot of beer. My liver's a tank. So
Yeah. Also, apparently, we learned the secret to anything you want to get at the show. You just need to give someone a beer.
Yeah. Even if it's 9 a.m.
it's really weird. People love beer.
I think we have our strategy for next year.
Just wheel in a fucking Yeti cooler full of
Yeah.
fucking beer.
Get like a secondary bag. All those big companies we go to that are stingy.
They're not stingy.
I
They
know,
just don't have lots of product. I get
Yeah.
it.
They got to hit their
don't-
top accounts first and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen.
it's nice to just cover the show. It's cool.
Yeah. We're talking shit, but we all totally understand that the main purpose of those is samples for people that are actually spending money with them. So I get it. We just are thankful, that they're nice enough with their charity, and we entertain them by being belligerently drunk and saying inappropriate things.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness wins sometimes. We can all agree.
Correct.
But that being said, start off the show. What do you guys think? What was your favorite booth? What did you like? Did you have a favorite cigar you smoked? There's so many things. There's so many questions I feel like people have. Was it fun? Maybe that's a big question. I mean, it's a big trade show. A lot of walking.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Dude, I feel like day 2, we walked like 5 miles. I think I saw on one of your phones, like our
We
total
did.
was 5 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like 5.5 miles. And that didn't include what we did at night.
Yeah, that's true. That was
Yeah.
still while we were at the show. Yeah. Favorite booth? Well,
Matt?
speaking of booths, I always enjoy seeing Matt Booth. Saw him day 1, then we saw him the last day when we were talking with the Pastagna guys, Palmer and Mikey and all them. So when they were stealing Johnny Tobacconaut, the big sculpture. So like, just seeing Matt is always fun.
I can tell you my favorite booth. Yeah, I think this is a clear-cut favorite for me. I don't even think it was close. One, I just want to touch on one thing. This year, the alcohol situation wasn't that great. It's kind of tough to find a drink. Usually there's a lot of like, whiskeys being sampled or scotches or rums or beer. That was not the case this year. So I'm going to clear-cut favorite. Rocky Patel takes it. I really enjoyed the kid that was singing all day. Forget his name.
I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
DJ Vox. We follow
DJ Vox.
We follow him. or something.
We'll see here. We'll give
pretty
his
sure-
Yeah, we got to give him his flowers because
Yeah.
that kid's an amazing singer. You
Range.
definitely go check him out. Yeah. Oh my god, the guy can sing any song you've ever heard of in your life.
Yeah, he got you.
He got me. I asked him to sing "Higher" by Creed. Oh, he did it.
That's why when I put it up on my personal Instagram page, that's why I chose the song like Higher to go with it. I was like, if you know, you know.
They were just Rocky, obviously very hospitable booth as per usual. Beer was flowing, cigars were smoked. The DJ / singer that they had, fantastic. Just a great atmosphere. Really, I mean, that was my personal favorite. I don't know.
I was gonna say because other than Rocky with the beer, what was it? Olivia had the Carl Malone rum. Was it Oliva? Oliva had the Carl Malone rum.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple rum samples. I'm trying to think. The only other place that gave us like a beer or a drink was that new brand,
Bentley.
Oh, Bentley did too, but that guy had like a tasting going on. No, but the new brand.
I got his Instagram. It's DJ Vox.
Okay,
That's exactly what Caleb said.
I remembered.
Yeah, no, it's DJ Vox. That you have to include the it's.
Oh, it's DJ Vox.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put his handle up here.
Yeah, that dude was
That guy,
incredible.
fucking link to the Instagram of him singing Creed or something.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. I requested, he was singing this crazy genre. Not
it was
genre,
like
but
Metallica
like this.
or something.
Yeah, Metallica. And
Did
I was
Fleetwood
like,
Mac.
I was like, dude, this guy can sing any song. So I was like, hey, man, do you know Higher by Creed? He's like, I never heard of that. And then it just started. I was like, oh, shit. He knows it. He's like, this guy knows every song ever. And he knows every lyric.
And his voice range is crazy.
Yes.
Because he was able to do a very good impersonation of Scott Stapp.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you, Gio? Favorite booth?
I mean, as far as like the most creative booth, Mayflower was pretty like, for what they are, that was cool. It was like that whole like ship's motto thing.
Yeah.
They won an award for best medium-sized booth.
Yeah.
Did they?
Obviously, I mean, come on, you
Yeah.
do a whole
That
ship
was
thing.
cool.
Yeah, you do
Yeah.
a whole ship. You probably deserve to win that.
That's how I felt about Don Doroteo the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I felt like I
yeah.
was literally in the rainforest.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
No Mama Juana this year.
I know.
Damn, that's That's a vibe, man.
Well, hopefully those boys are back next year, or at least in Vegas. Maybe they just didn't want to go to New Orleans. Yeah. But there were a lot of booths like that, I feel, or companies like that, I feel, that just didn't make that trip. But as far as my overall favorite booth, I probably had the most fun at the tap booth. Obviously, between them and like Crown Heads, just because that's our boys, like we got to hang out there with them a lot. Like Crown Heads has their similar setup as like previous shows, so like we're kind of used to how they do it with their like cases. Tap was just funny because Dan Welsh was clearly a little, feeling good, and we had some funny conversations. And then Casey's kid, I didn't know was an Ole Miss alumni, and I was talking shit about Jackson Dart. And he's like, oh, he's killing me.
Yeah. It was pretty cool to see them.
Yeah.
Obviously, seeing Pete Johnson was a lot of fun this year. Had some good conversations.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about fanboying out. This year was like the real deal. We spent a lot of time there.
Yo, Caleb was like definitely the odd man out like during this we're gonna probably have this guy on at a later time.
Oh, was
Andreas?
Yeah.
When I had to overcome my fear of public bathrooms?
Oh, that was funny. We'll talk. This is a story we need to tell soon. So this guy is a friend of Pete's and has a cigar coming out called Sex Tooth. And we're talking about it. And for whatever reason, we decided to have Caleb be the point of contact person for everything. Because it's just, I think maybe me and Jerry find it amusing. But,
I low-key find it funny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, talk to the guy. This is the big guy in the company. He's like clearly the shortest guy in the company, but...
So Caleb texts the guy, or actually, the guy texts... Caleb texts the guy. Caleb says something back like, oh, this is Caleb the priest. The guy's like, delete my number and give my number to the cops. They're awesome. You're weird.
And then I said, I'll see you in the confession booth, mister.
Just freak the guy out.
No, actually, I didn't even tell you guys this. When we were heading into the airport, Andreas sent me a picture of Mikey sent me a picture of a coffee that apparently Andreas left at the Pastagna booth. And he's like, just send this to Andreas, tell him to come back over. So then I texted it to Andreas, and I was like, Mikey says you forgot your coffee. Go back and get it. He's like, oh, just tell him to drink it. He's like, I spent like $7 on it. He's like, I'm already taking off for the airport as well. And then he's like, I like you guys. He's like, you're a couple cool cats. And I said, you know what? We're just a couple blind squirrels trying to find a nut. And he goes, no, that's gay. You're a couple bears trying to find some honey. I was like, that's super not gay.
Yeah. All right.
And he's this Greek guy. He's funny as hell. Like he's our type of humor. I appreciate it.
How'd you feel about like getting along with people this year?
This year, I think it was Greg who pointed it out. Like we went in the mindset of like, we're not going to do appointments. And if you got time to talk with us, you do. If you don't, all right, we'll just go somewhere else. And that was kind of the whole vibe, but everyone just was really nice and, took time. Like there were people obviously like, I think the funniest one was Rick Rodriguez at West Tampa, because like he was clearly in a business meeting, like selling the brand. We walk by and like give him a wave, and this dude's like, "Hold up, guys, wait!" Leaves his meeting, comes and talks to us, then gives us samples of his new cigar, Devil Crab, something like that. But that was, he's like, put those away. Don't let anyone see that. I was like, oh, sweet. All right. My man.
This dude was in like a legitimate business meeting.
It was just very funny. Like,
didn't call him over or anything.
Yeah.
Just gave him one of those girly waves. Like,
hi. And that was a cool experience. Like, we've clearly left a little bit of an impression on people where like, they're like, what are you guys doing? Like later, I'm like, oh, getting drunk like we do every time we come to the show.
Every day that
the
we're
same
here.
Thing we do every night, Pinky. Get blackout drunk.
Appreciate the Pinky and the Brain reference there. Ties to the classic days. Wish I was young still.
Animaniacs. We have some, highly quotable still. I don't remember what I said. It was like hello nurse recently to something, but it made me laugh.
Was it an ER nurse?
No. Could be. No, stay away from nurses. Bad luck.
I know.
What do you what about you, Caleb? Any like, what were your thoughts on like, just like, obviously just like almost like feeling included, like we belonged this year. Did you feel like you belonged this year?
Yeah, I felt like a lot more people definitely recognized all of us and were coming up to us and saying hi. Or, I seen the show. I like the show. And then like a lot of people were like, "Did we set an appointment? Like, let's do an interview. Let's do something." I was like, "We're chilling, but if you want to do something, we're ready to go. We'll do something informal and short right now."
I actually liked that mindset this year. We, just went around everybody and talked to everybody. Hey, what's new? What's coming out? Like, is there anything you're pushing? What's coming up later this year? Just kind of, basic questions. Didn't kill ourselves with interviews this year, and just kind of got to enjoy the people themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I don't want to call it a waste, but instead of like wasting 20 minutes of your life talking to somebody and then at the end they don't want to talk anymore because obviously they got to move on to the next interview or whatever they have planned. Mm-hmm. It was just nice to just shoot the shit, keep everything informal, tell me what I need to know, and kind of just keep it at that.
Yeah. Excuse me. I definitely liked seeing, obviously, like Davidoff's return. Like, we had a pretty good experience with those guys, and Alex, Tom,
Tristan, Alex,
yeah,
Waghorn,
Gabrielle, all of them. They were really nice to us. Then going to their little like Camacho party, that was fun. I had probably some of the best steak I've ever had that I ate like 5 plates of, and definitely people were starting to look at me. I was like, I don't care. I need to eat.
It's also a big moment for Mr. Caleb there.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You met somebody there.
Oh yeah, Mr. Rich Gaynor from ESPN, man. Like I heard the voice and it was Jennifer True, our homegirl. I was just standing there in line waiting for my like second or third helping of steak because like as Gio said, that steak was absolutely amazing. At one point, I was just like, "Can you give me a second helping? Like I don't want to come back right away. Like I'm a little embarrassed." And I'm just sitting there stuffing my face full of steak.
Not me, no shame.
You guys got my serving. For some weird reason, I was not hungry. I was still full. Like I ate almost nothing, really. We had lunch that day, and I wasn't hungry. I don't know. Maybe it was all the beer.
Could be.
I was just filled up.
Empty calories, yeah.
They were the funniest thing about that entire place to me was like, all right, Davidoff obviously has this, reputation of, high class and like all that, and all the beers like were like Temu versions of like brand names. They're like, I was like, hey, do you have Corona? No, we've got Dorado.
How can we be more approachable to the average person? I got it. Ice luge.
Yeah.
That's it.
Gio did it.
Yeah.
Did some Jameson out of the Scorpion Ice Luge.
First off, I thought I was getting a normal shot, and that guy like kept pouring. I was like, oh God.
It was just straight Jameson.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Nice and chilled, though.
Yeah, but it's not a true luge. There was like a tube.
Not. I agree. I think it was like a hygienic way. I think they should
get it.
If it was, I don't. If I feel like they really wanted the authenticity, they should have just went straight luge.
Straight sloppy with it.
Yeah.
Keg stand like college days.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
The alcohol kills it.
But it was nice to see Davidoff. Obviously, they haven't been at the show since 2019. And I would say that they kind of had like a triumphant return, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they have definitely had a nice booth set up. From talking with Alex, did we post that interview yet? I can't.
Yeah, it's okay. Up there.
There were so many posts, I'm getting lost with the Instagram. But Alex definitely explained that they plan on expanding their presence and really kind of, trying to rival like the Fuentes, the Altadis, these monster booths. Like, that interesting. The one cigar I'd say from the show that I'm kind of sad we weren't able to procure was the Plasencia.
They did drop a new cigar.
Yeah, Alma de
CEO.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look it up at a different time. Yeah. But that will probably be a banger. Really like Rona. And then, of course, we made friends with all the Plasencia guys the last day of the show because naturally we just started giving them alcohol and they're like, these guys, they know what's up.
But yeah, go back to the Rich Gaynor thing. Like meeting Rich at this party.
Alma del Cielo.
Oh. Yes.
But yeah, Jennifer True just was like, I need you to meet this guy. And it was Rich Gaynor from ESPN. He does college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL. He's talking to me. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing the name Rich Gaynor. I'm like, it sounds familiar. And then like the voice, I'm like, I know your voice from radio, from TV. And he's like, yeah, I do shit with Charles Barkley all the time, Karl Malone, this and that. And I was like, so how did you get here at this party? And he's like, oh, I know Rocky. And I was like, but how did you get here at the Davidoff party? He's like, I know Jennifer True. He's like, I just saw her at the hotel. She said, what are you doing? And I said, nothing. And she said, come to this party. And then this dude, he got us in the Uber. We went down to Cuban Creations and stuff. And like, we're riding around this New Orleans with Rich Gaynor, and he's showing us all these hilarious pictures. So we'll get to it another time. But.
The Rich was really funny because whenever things were going on, he would like commentate it at the appropriate voice where only we heard it. But it was like having your own inner monologue with like a Bob Menery-esque announcer. And this dude is hilarious. Like, and guy's a wild time.
Top notch.
Yeah.
I think we can leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Should we save it for if he comes on, or should I tell the story about how he made me text his wife? Should we save that one, or
we'll save that one?
We'll save it.
Okay, we'll save it. Funny story.
Yeah.
He's got a great sense of humor. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
I know he's probably like 10 years older than us, but like he fits right in. I think he said he was like 43.
He's like the cool uncle I never had.
Yeah.
The guy can drink. I appreciate it.
Guy can smoke. Can't zen though.
Yeah.
I almost killed him.
Yeah.
I did almost kill him.
Yeah.
I saw you give him one, and I was like, you can handle a 6? He's like, I do them every now and then. I was like, but you've been drinking and smoking. And then I was like, just if you feel wobbly, I was like, spit it out in like 5 minutes. I was like, you're not going to want to keep that in there.
And then next thing you know, I looked over and he was wobbling at the bar. I was like, spit it out. Spit it out.
Yeah,
get rid of it. Don't. No, you're like going at him like a dog that's chewing something that's not supposed to.
Get it out of your mouth.
Give me that.
Awesome guy. Yeah, man, I just feel like the show was fantastic, man. I had such a good time.
Yeah. I will say I was surprised at like the random people that were there. Like fucking Anthony Mackie was there. I went to go try to say
I can't even believe you even brought it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
No, I'm saying I can't believe you brought it up though. I never seen a colder shoulder ever.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. So yeah, of course. Like oh, this is Anthony Mackie. It's fucking Captain America. I'm gonna go say hi. Maybe he's at a cigar show. He knows that this is the type of shit. You know. Yeah, he like gave me like a half-ass, like not a full peace sign, like a quarter up, and then I was a little bitter. I was like, that's why Chris Evans is the better Captain America.
I was gonna say, I mean, maybe you didn't see the media pass that we have, like that we are media covering the show.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be as harsh as Hollywood was to him.
Yeah,
No.
But yeah, that movie sucked.
I think maybe he just got to look at Gio's body and was like, oh, I better stay away from this guy. Like, I don't want any trouble.
That guy was way smaller than I thought he is.
Yeah.
I'll show him the real super soldier.
Ooh.
he might have had like an inch or two on Gio, but like Gio would body him.
But yeah, that was weird. Let's see here. Random like athletes. Oh, you know what other booth I actually enjoyed going to was the Bocock Brothers booth. That guy was cool.
Yes. Matt,
Yeah.
super nice guy. Just like for those that don't know Bocock Brothers, I think this is the first year they've been at the show. They're the ones that kind of did like the LSU cigar.
Yeah, now they
we did it on a story back a couple weeks ago, or
it's been a while.
Somewhere. Yeah. It's been a little while.
And they got a few schools now, and
so Mississippi State,
Mizzou. I thought I saw
Mizzou.
I think they said something like potentially like with like they have like a commitment from
the Gators
because they were the national championship cigar, which that's cool. Then like the dark like twist, like that receiver for LSU, they sent like a mannequin with his jersey, and then like the dude like I guess like led police on a chase, and unfortunately like ended up like offing himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
Gio sent me the article, and like so we were talking to them at Bocock, and they were like, well, yeah, unfortunately he passed away. I think he took his own life. And then all the
details
of the story came out. I guess he took police on like a high-speed chase and then
stole his sister's car. I don't know what was going on. Maybe he had like a breakdown or something.
And then he shot himself in the head.
God damn.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah,
but that ain't the way to go about it.
Shame, young, very talented. But I didn't know that he had like a prior instance. I guess like he caused a accident driving drunk or something.
Well, they said that he killed like an 82-year-old woman in a drunk driving incident, and he was getting ready to be sentenced for it. and I think the sentence might not have been too favorable to him, and maybe that had a little to do with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a news article that we read. I mean,
We don't know all the facts.
I don't know all the facts. We're just talking about what we know from the article that we read.
Yeah.
But still, kind of a crazy story.
Wild. But again, this was just New Orleans as a whole is a very interesting place. Had fun on the trip. The city, you know, left a bit to be desired on the cleanliness side, that's for sure.
I will say, New Orleans was a very dirty city.
Like,
I'm sorry if there's anybody from New Orleans here that listens to the show and is like, but if there is, I'm sure deep down you know it.
Never seen wild cockroaches.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's what
chilling.
I said. Cockroaches all over the place. I'm not even joking. Literally.
Oh, we saw a huge one.
I've never seen cockroaches that big.
Yeah.
How big?
Also, someone needs to, like, you know, their service industry needs a little work. They need Gordon Ramsay.
John Taffer will straighten them out.
Yeah.
1 hour for a ticket? Shut it down!
Burgers? They ordered fucking burgers? Yeah, that's a pretty interesting. So we go to this like bar that's kind of like the official PCA like after party spot, and it's called Manning's. Yes, it's actually apparently like some affiliation with like the Manning family, like Archie Manning.
Which makes sense. He was a saint.
Yeah, we realized that after we put that together, and then all the football memorabilia was on because the outside it looks like it has nothing to do with football.
Mm-hmm.
But
eat, drink, cheer.
Yeah, beer.
Yeah,
Smoke at PCA.
Yeah.
Outside though.
But basically, the moral of the story is we ordered food after the show, and of course we're hungry and like, man, guys, this is taking forever. We don't complain because like whatever. Finally, the server comes up and tells us, guys, I'm so sorry, we have to remake your order. They gave your orders to somebody else, which is absolutely crazy.
my first question was, and they ate it? And she was like, yes. I'm like, what?
I'll never understand that. Someone hands you food that's not yours. You just go, yeah, this ain't mine. I didn't order it.
No, they ate it and never said anything.
Dirtbags. But
they should have took that part of our bill.
yeah, that was a whole thing too. Like not even like a free round of drinks or anything.
Nothing.
Like, yeah.
They didn't care. They didn't care.
Yeah, their bartenders were good though. I'll give them their flowers.
That was the one star
Yeah.
that they had. They had some superstars back there.
Yeah, they handled it because it was busy there the first night. That's got to suck. But besides that, like, you know, the pre-party was fucking awesome. That was one of the best parts of the show.
I think that they absolutely nailed the pre-party this year. I will
Shout
say
out to Eric Espinosa and, you know, all the
Steve
other
Saka
sponsors.
and Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, they fucking killed it.
They sponsored the party. PCA had it in like this courtyard outside. There was couches out there. The food was phenomenal. The service at the bars was great. It's a home run. I don't know how they could do that in Las Vegas, but I will say the one little thing that I liked about it is you don't get smoked out on the first day.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to the pre-party. Everybody goes, has a couple drinks. It's like you haven't seen these people in forever. It's nice to catch up and just shoot the shit with everybody. It's like an opportunity to like, it's informal. It's before you hit your boots. It's before you're running around to appointments. So it's like, it's the one opportunity that you have to like go and
Relax,
just chill out and relax.
unwind.
Yeah. You know, everybody just got there. You're excited. So the party was outside. You didn't get smoked out. There was cool people there. Guy Fieri was there. Michael Knowles was there from the Michael Knowles show in the Daily Wire. It was really cool. Obviously, he was there all weekend at Mayflower, but it was just nice to see these people. Everyone was running around having a great time. It was 75 and sunny. For people that are, you know, coming off of a rough winter, it was just a great opportunity to sit back on a couch, nice t-shirt, some shorts, smoke a nice cigar, have a great meal, have a couple cocktails or drinks. It was a great opportunity. I think they absolutely nailed it.
I wish there was some form of like outdoor lounge component in Buffalo, but it's so difficult to do because they'd get maybe 4 to 5 months usage out of it.
It's not feasible. Doesn't make sense.
Like, or at least like some shops have like a patio or something. But yeah, that environment was so fun. Like, I felt so relaxed.
Me too.
Dude,
Like,
it was crazy. Just like randomly, like we obviously knew Guy was there. The line to see him was huge, so we were like, "Oh, we'll see him. We'll see him tomorrow." Still ended up getting the autograph hat though. Still got it. Thank you, Jack and team at Espinosa. Still got that. But then, like, just walking around randomly, like we go to the DTT booth and like meeting Chris Duke. That was awesome. Just seeing him there. You're the Duke.
Yeah, him and Dave Lafferty were there passing out cigars.
Talking to those guys was cool.
Yeah, super awesome. Didn't know that, obviously, one of the sponsors of our show, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, the You're the Duke cigar is actually named after a police officer that works for Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust. Well, an ex-police officer, and the guy is the coolest guy ever. That dude's...
Getting 3 pensions like a boss.
Yeah, dude, he did it right.
From Honolulu, too. Hawaii. He's...
Yeah.
Dude.
Apparently, he was an extra on the original Hawaii 5-0, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fit. And also, Dave's ex-law enforcement. Mm-hmm. I just forgot where he said it, though.
Did he say Delaware?
Delaware or Rhode Island. One of those, I feel like. That stuck out for me.
Yeah, maybe he was a county sheriff or something like that, or I don't know how it works out there.
That would explain why. Remember when we were talking to Steve about segments, the sponsor, and we were like, Patrol Gone Wild, we talk about crazy police stories. He's like, well, if there's anything to do with negative against law enforcement, I'm not sponsoring it. I was like, no, we're all police officers. It's all positive.
Yeah.
We talk about funny stories.
Yeah.
And just kind of break them down.
It's not even that. It's just like we laugh at police blotter. Mm-hmm. But that was a fun experience. I think we got a nice talk with Steve as well. Like, it's nice to get FaceTime because that dude, I don't know if it's by design or not, but that dude is like, has his schedule by the half hour, it seems like.
We didn't.
And we didn't even get an appointment.
Yeah, we just.
Was it
Miguel? Miguel was
was it Michael Rodriguez or Miguel Rodriguez?
Miguel.
Okay, yeah. Shout out, buddy, because we appreciate you. You had your time booked, and you're like, hey, once I'm done, you guys take the rest of my appointment. We got to give him a reach out. He wanted us to pop on, like, he does lives a lot,
which is cool.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that with him.
Yeah,
God bless his heart.
Out of California, yeah.
But yeah, we didn't do anything crazy with Steve. We kind of just sat down, had a couple drinks, smoked a cigar, shot the shit. And then, for those that don't know, he's going to be coming on the show on the 29th of April. So I would imagine that
whatever the following
Wednesday is, that would
it'll probably be the first episode in May.
Yeah. So, he's coming on, he's scheduled. But we didn't want to take up too much time. Obviously, we're going to be talking to him in a week? A week and a half?
Guys, save your wallets, because apparently this is going to be the year of DTT new releases. That's what I gathered from that.
The year of the Duke. They got the new Red Meat Lovers. The
Fratanga. The Jubilee 10th.
The Jubilee 10th.
Right,
the
Jubilee.
Gorilla.
The new Gorilla. The Mi Querida Gorilla. And he said that there were projects that were going to be coming out. He told us all the names. I forgot all of them because he said all of them in 30 seconds.
And there was like 6.
And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, it's just a busy year for me this year, guys.
He's like, I'm kind of making up for last year. And Steve's funny. I like sitting down with him. He, obviously, like, it'll go both ways. I really find it interesting. Him and Skip obviously had their little battle, a couple weeks ago.
Over the tariffs.
Yeah. And it's, I think you said it best. Steve is like a grade A troll, but he's good at it.
Oh, he's so good at it.
Oh yeah,
dude.
with the You're the Duke. That's like the main troll.
Yes.
Yeah. But
all the other companies got the Year ofs.
Yeah.
I just the way he described it, I don't want to like ruin anything. He's going to be coming on. He's going to talk about it.
I appreciated that.
But he is a top-notch troll,
and he doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's fucking hilarious.
Like, I think, again, to this day, he's like, yeah, you guys are expensive. I don't know if this is worth it, but I'm going to do it still. Like, remember that? Well, thanks, Steve. We appreciate you.
What did he say this year? I can't remember.
He didn't say anything about that.
He said, he's like, not that it matters or anything.
He said, what's the name of your podcast? I'm like, well, you should know that, Steve. You sponsor. He's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Apparently, DTT's got deep pockets.
I was like, damn. We talk every year. We talk all the time. We email all the time. All right,
It
whatever.
was nice to meet Anna, who, we email all the time asking for shit, and it always feel really bad.
It's always good, like, when we talk to these people, it's good putting a face to their name. I always like that, because, like, you see maybe their Instagram or Facebooks, and you're like, yeah, I could point you out, but it's like, meeting in person is a lot better.
I did want to bring up, obviously, people we email and putting faces to, emails. Rabbit Air, they do a lot for us here.
Yeah.
Kind of like a shameless plug, but they do have a new product coming out for the A3. They have a new dual hive filter that goes into it now, which I guess reduces odor by another 25%, which is like, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So, it's always nice to see Tamina there. She's super nice to us, and, we always like what she does for us at Rabbit Air.
Yeah.
So, hi, Tamina. Good,
Shout out.
Good seeing you.
Oh, speaking of trolls, one of the major trolls that I loved meeting this year was Tom Lazuka from Asylum and CLE. That dude, oh my God,
Yeah.
the battle that
let's not ruin
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
because I want to have him on.
Yeah,
But
we do got to have him on.
There are some great photos. I mean, obviously, they've got the 13 by 134. I made a post explaining that this thing is as big as my fucking forearm. There were some great comments on there. I appreciated the Riching girls making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, you're so smiley in this photo."
Because he's got that big hog in his hand.
But then they hooked us up too. Gave us a bunch of stuff to try. Bro, you lucked out. They gave some flavored shit. You can give it to your cousin because he can't handle big boy cigars.
My cousin loves flavored cigars.
I'm gonna give those to my dad. My dad is gonna go crazy because
Yeah.
he was like, my dad was like, make sure you go to Drew Estate, and I was like, I got one for you.
Drew Estate was an interesting booth. They have a crazy setup. I also just didn't realize how many sub brands are under Drew Estate. Like, you forget because how many there actually are.
Dude, they're like one of the big four companies. It would be
Yeah.
STG, Drew Estate, Davidoff,
General STG, yeah.
Yeah.
I said that already.
and
You said that already.
then Fuente, probably.
Or,
I mean,
even
Altadis. Altadis.
Rocky's up there too.
Altadis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like one of the big four.
Oh, well, we met Christian from Hoya de Nicaragua. That dude was solid. He hooked us
Yeah,
up.
that dude was a really, he was probably one of the most personable people there.
Young guy, too.
Yeah.
Good flow. He's
Yeah.
like if Gio got his hair looking good.
Damn. Talking shit.
So true.
No, Christian, shout out to you, man. You're a boss. You hooked us up.
Yeah.
You gave us like the numero uno,
Mm-hmm.
one of their best cigars. That was like created for like
He gave
U.S.
us a few.
diplomats.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
A lot of good people. I feel like we're missing stuff, but
We still,
I mean,
we still had a lot of fun. Even at West Tampa, talking with Sarah Rodriguez, that was always fun. Like the last day, like
who else is everything? Did we sit down? We did Davidoff. We talked. Caleb, we barely talked about your sit down with your nerd out moment with Michael.
you didn't even bring it up.
Michael Knowles.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Caleb got to do a 10-minute interview with Michael Knowles. Shout out to Michael Knowles and Ben.
And Mayflower
You guys are
Cigars,
awesome.
yeah.
And Mayflower.
Yeah. Caleb geeked out. I appreciated it.
Can we talk about the lead up? We were like, dude, you're going to go.
Yeah.
Ben texted me and said,
20
Michael
minutes.
wants to interview you guys. Can just come back in 20 minutes. And I'm like, Caleb, you ready? And I'm not going to lie to you. I've never seen Caleb look so shook.
Yeah.
He looked shook.
Well,
You did look nervous,
I
buddy.
wanted a piece of gum. I didn't want to have bad breath or anything like that.
You had a dick drawn on your ear, dude.
I did.
yeah, that we didn't even talk about that. That's another part of the story for later. But so I will say, seeing that Michael interview, you see someone who's got the mannerisms and because of what he does with his podcast, and it's almost like news reporter-esque. The guy is a professional. In comparison, we've met a handful of famous people at PCA. Obviously the Guy Fieri's probably the biggest celebrity that there, and our interactions with him are a little limited just because the guy just is everyone's up his ass. But Michael was a little different in the fact that he likes to get chippy.
He's definitely a talker for sure. And from what
I
I heard,
basically it went from Caleb was interviewing him to he started interviewing Caleb.
His job came out in his
Yeah.
interviews. Now Caleb was the interviewee. It was funny. And then I thought the conversation was good. You guys talked about some conspiracies. I think the big point that he mentioned and that I took pride in is the fact that obviously we are clearly censored by media as cigar content.
Yeah.
There are algorithms out there. They are now allowing our content to be put out there.
Yeah.
There's clearly, and Michael's completely right. It needs to come from a political point. It's the only way that we're ever going to fight against it.
Yeah.
He's the guy to do it. Like if he's so involved with politics, he could definitely.
It's
get
not.
involved with some
I mean,
legislature,
it's so above him at that point, though. Like you'd have to have some kind of like.
Well, you already would
legislation.
see the rebuttal. Oh, you're only saying that because you have a cigar company.
Well, it's not even that. Like you just. There needs to be a rule that, like, instead of kicking it down, that it needs to just be the viewer's choice. Like everyone gets the same shot in the algorithm.
Yeah. That'd
Like,
have to be like a
unless you
passion
are-
project for Michael, you know?
But like, unless you are saying shit that like is actually like, all right, like some dude saying some crazy, anti-Semitic or racist crap. Like, yeah, okay, that guy probably shouldn't be posted in the algorithm. Like, you know what I mean? But as far as like talking about tobacco or, I think he brought up like guns and the Second Amendment. Like, no, you don't need to filter that. Like, that's stuff that's part of everyday life.
It's also in the Constitution.
Right. Like, just put a content warning, and if you're over 18, you can consume whatever media you want to consume.
And not only that, the whole story of like how he came up with Mayflower cigars with his family being on the original Mayflower ship, that was good to hear from Michael. And
Yeah.
in an interview, you got to get that out. But I will say, his whole booth, his whole crew, all solid peoples. Everyone there was so nice and so friendly. So
And Caleb is beloved by Matt Booth.
Still.
Like, it is very, very... He sent us a nice little, basically, a you up text at like 1 a.m.
he did.
It was a good time. That was a fun... That you could tell he was having fun with it. I do think the one thing that like kind of hindered a lot of the traditional show experience was the AJ fire.
You could tell that it was...
Like, I think
It was something that if it didn't happen, I think maybe moods would have been a little higher, but obviously
because they had more to display their product. Like, again, we talk about samples. They're not for us. They anytime we get something from a company, we're very grateful, because the point is, give it to a shop. Here, smoke this. Tell me what you think if your customers will like it, and then buy 3 boxes. But when you can't do that with certain new releases, it's kind of like harder for these companies to just buy them blind. Especially on a retail, like someone from New York who owns a retail shop in New York that like has to pay the taxes on that, within 30 days of receipt. It's harder for them if they don't know it's something that's good.
Yeah.
And again, it's all subjective, You got to just do what you got to do. That, I think, next year's show will probably be a little bit better, as long as another major manufacturer like, AJ, that makes so many cigars for so many people, doesn't, set up anybody back.
Experience any kind of like catastrophic
Yeah.
disaster. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you guys want to touch on that we think is like super important? Obviously products, we're not going to sit here and tell you about every product we saw. There's a bazillion of them, but is there any like fun story? If not,
we got to see the $25 million eggs.
that is true.
Yeah.
Those are, honestly, those things are a work of art. Like, they're fucking spectacular.
It's funny to poke fun at it, and then when you see them in
Yeah.
person, you're like, wow.
And then you're like,
I
damn.
went like straight up to it. I was like, wow, look at those rubies.
Yeah. And then our like Instagram post, I just made like poke fun. I was like, yeah, well, these 2 eggs is Josh Allen's yearly salary.
Mm-hmm.
But
He could buy those eggs.
why?
They're not for sale.
Damn, El Septimo's got some cash, though.
They're not for sale.
El Septimo's got that cheddar.
Also, the security guards there, they definitely were like just kind of lurch looking. Like, it was weird.
They were funny.
Yeah.
Well,
But I like the comments. Everyone was like, oh, like that photo definitely did very well on our social media. And everyone.
what is
just
this, a
poked-
cigar convention or the meathead convention?
Caleb's, arms got bigger too. We were very good with our photos to make Caleb look similar stature. You guys are welcome for that.
I think I'm just sometimes bigger than I appear.
No, you appear bigger than.
Or Pete says I'm way smaller.
You're like a passenger window.
The side view mirrors.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you said passenger window.
The passenger mirror is what I meant.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Objects may be closer than they appear.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like objects might be smaller than they appear. It's like the opposite. Man, bad analogy. Yeah. You get what I meant.
I didn't look too bad in that Guy Fieri photo.
Guy was like, Jesus, hide my arms.
He did say that, too. He's like, Jesus, hide my arms, bro. You guys are all fucking monsters. What, did you guys all just work out? It's nice to hear that.
That is always the interesting thing. I think that's why we're pretty memorable, because, like, we stand out physically.
It's true.
Yeah, like, I don't want to, take shots at, the other cigar smokers in that way or anything like that and be mean. It's just, we're definitely not in the norm.
Let's get even bigger for next year. Just, like, bulk up like Gio.
I'm pointing at Gio. Why am I pointing at you?
Oh, God.
What'd I say?
Because you said to do that.
I said, dude, I think we just need to get even more jacked next year. Like, just keep getting more jacked. Take it serious next year. How big can we get?
Look like professional bodybuilders at the show, like do a full-on cut.
Come with the spray tan on.
You do that.
Like, there must be a show. There must be a show in New Orleans too. I've been trying to make.
I hit a little. I tanned a little bit before. I know it was a little lame, but dude, I was like white, dude.
We should have Caleb get as jacked as he can, but wear the Father Caleb costume. So he's Diesel Priest.
Yeah, we can do that. Next year we'll remember to bring it.
Yeah, that is one thing we should have done, and remembered our other equipment.
I forgot my media bag, but
yeah.
I thought it was a great show.
Yeah.
We'll kind of keep it at that.
I need the receipt for that, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get it to you.
Yeah.
That being said, Caleb, there's some things we got to get into, my man.
All right, guys. It is time for Patrol Gone Wild, brought to you by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, maker of fine cigars such as Mi Querida, Moistra de Saca, Sin Compromistro, Red Meat Lovers, and many, many, many new stuff coming down the pipeline for you guys. Be coming out soon. Some at the end of summer, some early fall. So, guys, get ready for that stuff and buy some DTT. Support our sponsor of our show. And without further ado, let's roll into Patrol Gone Wild.
Patrol Gone Wild. We're doing it big.
Up first, speaking of New Orleans, we're going there for this Patrol Gone Wild. We got baby mama drama with Zion Williamson. Alleged stalker broke into his home and attacked his baby mama and egged his house. So this is like a scorned ex. So he's dealing with some, besides all his injuries on the court, he's got some personal issues with life off the court. So there's a woman, her name is Akima Love, has been arrested in connection to stalking the New Orleans Pelican star and assaulting his partner, whom they share a daughter with. According to state police out of Louisiana, on Monday, April 7th, Akima Love trespassed onto his house, attacked his partner, and then she alleged to trespass and assault, and they say that she egged Williamson's house on Monday, March 17th. After being tracked down by police, Love was arrested, booked, and charged with home invasion, aggravated battery, and stalking after appearing in front of a judge on Tuesday, April 8th. Her bond was set at $50,000, and she was ordered by the judge to turn over a pistol that she owned and to stay away from Williamson and his partner.
Damn, bro, they must really love him down there. And they erpoed her? Oh, my God.
Well, he's actually got like... He's like a notorious like womanizer, I guess. Like he is just all he's doing is just getting the ladies up. Like he's notorious. Like there's so many memes out there of like him sliding in like any Instagram thoughts DMs.
No filter, this dude is.
Yeah, it's
good for him.
It's the horn dog.
Yeah, well, he's got to spend less time, fucking and more time staying healthy to play a full season.
That's why he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, pulling a hammy.
He's working it too much. Got to work out more. Allegedly grabbed the baby mama's hair, hit her with her keys. A couple lacerations on her face, and her fingernails were torn off.
Dude,
so
what is this dude like promising these girls that like they are going that crazy? I mean,
that good basketball D.
Good defense. Good defense.
Yeah, good defense. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of block shots.
Is this a clip for this?
This is a clip. This is a clip from the first story. Yeah, before I got another clip for you for the second story.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Here's a clip for the story with Zion Williamson's baby mama.
love triangle that sources say involves Pelican star Zion Williamson, as a woman accused of stalking and beating another woman linked to him romantically made her first court appearance today. Akima Love's bond was set at $50,000 and she was issued a stay-away order from that woman. Kenner police say the whole thing started back in March when they say Love egged the woman's house and then threatened her on social media. Police say Monday, Love, who had just given birth weeks ago, entered the victim's house, grabbed her hair, hit her with keys, leaving just cuts all over her face and her arms with her fingernails torn off, according to investigators. Police say that Love then ran away and, according to them, was arrested on Royal Palm Drive. And we spoke with her attorney today, who had no comment about the whole ordeal.
All right.
All right, baby mama drama.
Well, that reads horrible.
Yeah, I think Miss Love might be in some trouble.
Yeah.
Love's going to jail.
Yeah, she's going to jail, and she just gave birth.
No, that the other girl just gave birth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else you got for
All right,
us?
so up next, I got like this bank robbery of a Brinks truck security guard. This time, let's play the video first, and then we'll talk about it, because the video, it's you can see this kid's face, and I'll let you be the judge of it. I mean, smirking right now. You already know he's playing in this. All right, here we go. He's gone.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
People pleaser.
He's got to please his people with that bag of cash that he stole.
All right.
Well, I mean,
We got to watch the actual. Yeah, I would say it was a strong arm robbery.
definite forceful taking of property, snatched it off of him.
Yeah.
And then depending on how much money it is, probably some high degree of grand larceny, and it's in Ohio, so he might be in trouble.
He's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Poor Yeldon.
What a name, too.
All right, wait. Jerry, this is you. All right, you're Yellen's defense attorney. How are you defending him?
Oh, we were going to talk about this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's on. Your client is on video.
He's on video.
You know what? How can you defend his acts?
How do we know he was stealing it? What if he was just going to carry it to the car for him? He wanted to get it there faster.
Okay, all right. I would have went with he tripped and fell into it or something.
I don't know. I think I like mine better.
Yours is definitely.
He clearly didn't trip.
That guy looked might be a little elderly. Took him, some time to react.
That's what I'm saying. His reaction time was off. He saw that he might have been struggling getting the money out. He wanted to help him carry the bag to the car.
He was smiling. That's not the look of a criminal.
That's correct.
This is a happy man trying to help a senior citizen.
A good Samaritan. Just taking this heavy bag of money back to the Brinks truck. The camera didn't show that. It cut off. You guys, it's totally misleading.
All right, guys,
They never show the second part. He was helping him carry the bag to the car.
Yeah. Now, and then the Brinks driver must have just got angry and just drove off. He was trying to return that money.
Play it in reverse. He actually brought it back. We slow this down and play it backwards. He actually hands him the bag. He must have dropped it.
All right, guys. We'll post this or something like that. We need your comments to see what you think. How would you defend Yeldon, or is it Yeldon?
Yelan. So the Franklin County Sheriff's Office arrested this man when they saw that he snatched the bag of money from an armored vehicle employee in Valley View. A 21-year-old is charged with robbery and felony theft, and the incident what happened back on March 19th. Deputies received a call that a man snatched the bag containing a large amount of money from an employee with the Brinks Armored Delivery Service. The employee was servicing an ATM at a store, 2800 block of Valley View Drive. The man, later identified as Shepard, grabbed the money bag out of his hands, the sheriff said. The Brinks employee chased the man, but he escaped in a dark Ford SUV. And then he was later taken into sheriff's custody at 11:30 p.m. the same day. He's currently still being held in Franklin County Jail. Appeared for an arraignment hearing on Friday morning. Judge set a $20,000 $20,000 cash bond, and he's forbidden from returning to the store as condition of his release.
Man, all I gotta say is he's lucky he wasn't in New York, because by New York standards, he could have got shot.
It's a robbery.
Yeah, like,
like
and
the
that
Brinks
and
trucks?
those Brinks drivers are armed. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he could have been like, bang.
What do you think the news story would have been if he shot him in the back, though?
I mean, like legally, I think he would be completely justified, and there would have been no charges. But it would not have been.
The optics, though.
Definitely doesn't look good.
We live in a world of optics.
I think maybe, if he's got a good shot, maybe he shoots, every so often, every weekend he's at the range, one of those guys, shoots him in like the ass cheek.
There you go. All right. What else you got for us,
All right.
Mr. Steen?
Our last story of the day is that we still have the mob alive and well in New Jersey. I mean, what else is new? It's never totally gone away.
I
So-
saw this story.
So you Jersey folk out there, watch out for those slippery mob kind of guys. So
our friends in
Are you going to touch on it, or
yeah, I'm going to touch on it. Just little intro.
I didn't see the story yet, so I'm like a baby bird. You got to feed me, man.
All right, so we have not only do we have Lucchese mob family members arrested in this spawn of a gambling ring. Yeah, gamblers. I love gambling, so this is a perfect story for me.
Caleb's looking at this isn't a crime.
Yeah,
Where's the crime?
they're just playing poker in the back of restaurants across New Jersey. That's not a crime. But you got the involvement of a New Jersey politician in this as well. So it's not only just mafia members from the Lucchese family. You got a Prospect Park city councilman, Anand Ashad. He's a 42-year-old. He allegedly managed these illegal poker games and ran an online sports book tied to 4 members of the mob family of New Jersey. So that's where you get in trouble, because you got some New Jersey government members in here. So it's a massive mobbed-up gambling ring run out of restaurants across the Garden State. So they do these in back rooms of restaurants. Just a couple of dudes playing poker, unsanctioned, unregulated in the back of restaurants and bars across the Garden State. This councilman Shah was one of 37 people arrested, and 39 people were charged in a sweeping gambling case as part of a 2-year investigation that included undercover illegal operations in Woodland Park, Garfield, and the Towa area that netted $3 million in illegal profits, according to state's attorney general. At the top of the racket was George Zappola, 65, of Red Bank, who was part of the Lucchese ruling panel of the crime family. And then you got Lucchese Captain Joseph Big Joe Perna, John Perna, Wayne Cross, and a couple other dudes there. So cops raided 4 illegal poker clubs connected to the Lucchese crime family. 2 were run out of back rooms of restaurants. They also searched the business in Patterson that was storing illegal gambling machines. And they also searched the homes of 7 other people who were also managing other illegal gambling operations with poker games and gambling machines as well. The raid discovered more poker clubs and dozens of other people who hosted poker games, worked at the clubs, managed bettors and online sports books that aren't your typical online sports books, like DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, and all that. So they were like guys who just made their own online sports
What
books.
about the Delta Airlines sports book?
That was all for free. I enjoyed playing poker for free in a hypothetical game of poker on their TV screen. So they were collecting rents to host these poker games. Host of the house would recruit their own players, provide food and beverages for games, and financially stake them. So they were loaning money out too. They were loan sharking, and they would take in a percentage of the bets for themselves, called a rake, as the AG would say. And they would also allow gamblers who didn't pay off their debts to work for them at said restaurants and businesses in order to, pay back their gambling debts.
Doesn't seem very mob-like.
I mean, this is...
That seems like when you dine and dash, and they're like, you gotta do some dishes.
Well, no, this just reminds me of the episode of Sopranos with the poker games, the executive game, and then they end up, running the shakedown on the local sporting goods store.
So,
Spoiler alert.
So 25-year-old spoiler alert for that episode of The Sopranos. Shah, the city councilman, he's charged with racketeering, conspiracy to promote gambling, and money laundering, and other charges, which he could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted on the top charge. And there's due in court on Tuesday, and he will be argued to be kept out of jail and let the case play out. As for everyone else involved, it's not known who's representing them and what's going on. But mostly they want to get the city councilman.
All right. Well, good luck to them.
They're going to try and
seems
make
pretty
this dude
shady.
just flip on whoever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's going to be a flip fest.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that'll end this week's Patrol Gone Wild. Tune in next week for another Patrol Gone Wild brought to you by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. And now, It's time for Whiskey and Cigar News with Caleb. Up first, we have a team up in the cigar industry. We have Apostate Cigars is joining Oveja Negra brands for sales, marketing, and distribution. This news just hit like fresh.
Oveja Negra.
This, what did we hit it? Like Monday morning right away we heard this? Like,
Yeah, we heard it. We were eating breakfast.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to begin working together in a new agreement that's set to go in effect at the start of June. So they are working with LJ Zuka, a tobacco distributor that's been in business since 1947. It's made of Black Label Trading Company, Blackwork Studio, Emilio Cigars, and now Apostate coming onto there. Kendrick from Apostate says, we're thrilled and honored to be joining the brand that they've long admired, and they're exciting for new things to come, and look forward to adding their blends to their portfolio. Brandon Overson, co-founder and vice president of Apostate, said it's a melding of values, and they both have carved their own respective paths at this point. And then James Brown from Black Label says that they are welcoming a new opportunity for Apostate Cigars to bring some diversity to their portfolio. And he says that Apostate is a great example of a uniquely different brand that fits what we're looking for. And I could see that, like seeing what Blackworks and Black Label does, and then seeing Apostate and their designs, how they play with things. I could see them being a great team up right here.
Well, I feel like it'll be good for both companies. Obviously, we have strong relationships with both Apostate and Blackworks and Black Label Trading Company. So good for both of them. The acquisition and the merger is going to be really good for both of them. And congratulations to Brandon. Love that guy. So good for you, man.
Then add into, like, I think that they're going to have access to some, more tobaccos that they might not have. So this will be really cool for them. I think that they'll be able to bounce ideas and really, like, flourish with that.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, on to story number 2. We got Ceniza Fina is announcing a new Connecticut line to their brand. So they're adding a lighter blend to their portfolio. They started with a, 2025 PCA Convention and Trade Show. They are going to do a 4 Vitola line with an Ecuadorian Connecticut seed wrapper covering a Dominican Carrillo, 98 binder and fillers from the Dominican Republic. You're going to have Corojo, Carrillo 98, and HVA, and Jalapa from Jalapa, Nicaragua as well. Production is going to be handled by Tabacalera La Isla in Santiago de Caballeros in the Dominican Republic. There'll be 4 different box press vitolas when the cigar launches in late June. They're going to be packaged in 20-count boxes. You're going to have a Corona, Robusto Toro, and a Robusto Gordo. And you're going to be looking at prices from $12 to $14. And they're all coming in boxes of 20s.
It's nice to see Sam and Rosie making moves. Again, we saw them at the show. It was really nice to meet them in person. Obviously, we've had them on the show previously, but it was nice to see them at Cuban Creations at the Cigar Lounge and
shoot the shit a little bit
and get to know them.
Yes, Sam's a solid dude. We talked to him a little bit more than Rosie. Just very fun. We'll definitely have to feature this cigar. I know we were able to get our hands on it, so I'm looking forward to it. This will be a little interesting because their previous release was a really, really nice smoke.
So obviously they're working with our guys, Mike and with Popiche Cigars over there. So that's where they're coming up with this Connecticut blend. It says Sam and Rosie. It's a partnership of friendship, shared passion, exceptional cigars, and that's what brought everyone together. Ceniza Fina is Spanish for fine ash. It was launched in 2024 by Sam and Rosie Lopez, who own a retail store in Glendale, Arizona. And, we got that to look forward to.
All right, my man. What else we got, man?
All right, last story of the day. We have New Riff Distilling is unveiling a 2025 Silver Grove Bourbon and Rye whiskeys. So they're both going to be barrel proofs too, so they're a lot stronger. So they are respected out of Kentucky whiskey, and they're going to have 2 new additions for the Silver Grove lineup: a straight bourbon and a straight rye. They're going to hit shelves starting last week. Each bottle is going to be priced at $59.99, limited edition bottles, so it's a treat for whiskey lovers. It's just to show off the region's great distilling history in the Silver Grove community. I'm not too sure where that is, but
so if you go over the Cincinnati border, it's in Kentucky.
Okay, yeah, I was just getting to that now.
Yeah, it's like literally, I don't know, 25 minutes past Cincinnati.
So originally, yes, you got the Cincinnati part, 1930s, and it was bottled by George T. Stagg Distillery back in the day. So it's a historical connection and ties to New Riff, and they're trying to modern day tie to Silver Grove, Kentucky. They built a new barrel warehouse in 2022, so it's a new move to meet growing demand. They launched Silver Grove in 2023, and they also donate some of the proceeds to improving life in the small town of Kentucky. So to date so far from 2023, they've raised nearly $62,000 for community projects, and that's a little bit behind their mission here with the Silver Grove. And let me see if I can find the specs on these bottles. All right, so for the straight bourbon whiskey, you're going to have a 4-year-old spirit bottle, 110.3 proof, mash bill 60% corn, 35% rye, 5% malted barley. And then for the straight rye whiskey, it's also going to be 4 years, bottled at 110.2 proof. Mash bill is going to be 95% rye, 5% malted rye. So that's going to be really big for you rye guys out there. So you got that to look forward to, and at a pretty manageable price of like $56.
Definitely have to try it on the show.
Yeah, looks intriguing to me. I'm down to try it. I like anything New Riff puts out. So,
All right, buddy.
and that'll conclude this week's news with Caleb. So without further ado, guys, I think we need to get to our cigar review session.
Well, before we get into that, as always, our cigar review session is brought to you by Small Batch Cigar. You know, they got a cigar at their shop for everybody, and after this show, guys, they are going to have a shit ton of new stuff. Obviously, some exclusions do apply. Remember to use code HERF, H-E-R-F. Again, great company, and they will do their best to get your stuff shipped out as close to same day as possible. So who's going first on the review side of things?
I can go first. I'm all set.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
All right, the appearance. I really like the nice double band they have on here. The colors, the purple, the white, and the gold. It really stands out and pops. And for a new brand, it's kind of what you need right away. I saw a lot of commotion about these guys on Instagram before the show, and then Mikey told us we need to go check them out. So glad we did. This is a pretty damn good cigar. Burn, 9.5. I just did one relight. Got a little long-winded there with the Patrol Gone Wild and news, but 9.5. I had no issues. Burned even the whole way through. Construction also shined here. 9.5 as well. I didn't have no issues with here. Nice stack of dimes. Greatly constructed. Draw, I went with the straight cut. No issues. Giving it a 9. Very smoky cigar, by the way. A lot of smoke through and through the whole cigar. And enjoyment. Fun little recap episode with you guys. Almost like a sober edition, because I haven't really quite finished this drink. So I'm like, I hit it a little bit, but
This amazing pour of sparkling water.
So that'll give my overall score a 46. You times that by 2, a 92 from me. Additional notes here on my cold draw. I had some nice tea and earthiness, and then throughout the whole smoke, a little bit of chocolatey mochainess. It's smooth. It's like a more medium to full smoke, but it's kind of easy to go through. I mean, it's a really good cigar. It's just easy to smoke. I kind of just forgot that I was smoking the cigar, and I really enjoyed this episode with you guys.
All right, man. I'm going to throw it over to Gio.
All right. So, this cigar, definitely a very good, I can't believe this is their third release, further line for a new company that's only a few months old, so they must have been working on this a while. So, the ChiMolly Pioneer. Appearance, I gave it a 9. I like the box, I like the setup, distinct bands. I wish I could, read the language so I knew what was on the band besides just the, Chinese lettering. Burn, I'm right there with you. This is one of the better burning broadleafs I've smoked. It really stood out to me. Obviously, it's a tougher leaf that, you have to touch up more than your, average cigar. So that was right there for me. Construction, I gave this thing a 9.5. For this being such a new company, this is one of the more well-constructed cigars I've, had my hands on. I'm very impressed with what they did, especially, I'm not really too familiar with this Mi Havana factory, so I don't have to, off the top of my head, I don't really know any other brands they make, but their quality control seems to be really good for these guys. Draw. I went with the V-cut. Smoke output was fantastic. Really enjoyed the flavors I was getting. One thing I will say, I did remember when we were talking to the gentleman, he talked about this wanting to be a big, high flavor from the retro hail. And so I made it a point to at least try to get a couple of those in throughout, this smoke. And this is one of the more like notable, like, I guess almost like caramel, like notes that I got. And I don't often say specific notes, so that stands out to me. This is a really, really good broadleaf. And obviously coming from me, I would give this enjoyment higher if I could. Broadleaf isn't my favorite wrapper, but I gave the enjoyment a 9. That brought my overall score to a 44.5, giving it a 91. If you are a broadleaf smoker, you will really enjoy this cigar.
All right, I'm going to get into it. The ChiMolly Pioneer Broadleaf Robusto E 6x50. The appearance, I gave it a 9. I really like the double band. Like Gio, I'm not very fluent in Chinese, so I wish I knew what it actually said, but my guess is it's probably ChiMolly.
Yeah.
Or Pioneer.
Yeah, could be.
I'm going I'm going to go out there and say that's probably what it says. Burn, I thought this thing really shined on the burn. 9.5. I didn't touch mine up one time. I lit it once. Gio did touch on the broadleaf. Sometimes it's a tougher wrapper to keep lit. But it burned phenomenally. I straight cut mine, so it was pretty easy. I didn't have any issues. The one knock I have on the cigar is the construction. I gave it an 8. I had a tunneling issue about halfway through my cigar, so I was fighting through mine. My draw got kind of fucked up. So I didn't knock it too much on the draw. It did correct itself, but I had to take away for that. It was kind of the entire second third of the cigar. So it was a little bit annoying, but I did get through it. It didn't boat or get any, crazy burn issues from that, but I don't know. I just feel like the construction kind of annoyed me.
You got the one.
Yeah, it annoyed me. The draw, I gave it a 9. Caleb touched on the smokiness of the cigar. I really liked it. My overall enjoyment was still a 9. I did like the flavors on the cigar, which is kind of a saving grace. Obviously, docking points on the construction sometimes can hurt the rating.
It can be a killer.
It can be a killer.
Yeah.
So
did you? I don't mean to interrupt. Did you retrohale it at all?
Of course.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to get to that or not. I'm curious to see what.
So
you said.
I gave my overall score a 44.5, 89 overall. It was a dark, oily wrapper. It was very nice looking cigar. It was spicy. Had a dark chocolate mocha. I thought the retrohale was really nice. I did get some like mocha caramel notes on that. I was kind of trying to figure out what it was that the note was, but like Gio, he did touch on caramel, and that's kind of what it was. The retrohale was a little spicy, but I mean, it wasn't anything unmanageable. I did like it a lot, though.
Yeah.
I wish that I didn't have a construction issue halfway through my cigar, but I did, and unfortunately, it's a review.
Got to review what you smoke.
And I got to review what I smoke. So I'm not half wheel. We're not half wheel. We don't get to smoke 3 each. We each smoke 1, and that is the 3.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious. Flavor wise, $16. Would you buy it again?
yeah, I thought it was a great cigar. I also really like the appearance of the boxes. They were like a white lacquer box on one, and then they had some pretty nice looking boxes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know who's carrying this at the moment because they're so new.
They are 5 months old.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't even know where to get it right now. My guess is I'm sure it's going to be somewhere soon.
Yeah, they said that they did pretty well on the order side of things, so I can't imagine, there won't be some bigger, retailers carrying this pretty soon.
If you are curious on where to get them, reach out to them on Instagram. They did follow us. It's ChiMolly, ChiMolle. They are brand new, but I think they have a good, bright future ahead of them. I think the scores reflected that. I'm not going to dock it too much. It's a new company.
Yeah.
But that being said, Caleb?
All right, overall score from the three of us. Still got a 90.66, round that up to 91, so still above 90.
And Jerry, just one quick correction. So if you're going to follow them, it's ChiMolly _official, and it's Molly with a Y.
What'd I say?
You said with an E.
Okay. Just so we don't send them to a dirty site.
You never know. So that's their handle. You guys can, check it out that way, and you will be able to, get all the information that you guys need.
That being said, any closing notes, man?
Check these guys out, man. They're new, up and coming. Give them a follow. Go buy a cigar. $16 or so. You know, it's worth it, I think. Other than that, guys, we got the Facebook, the Instagram, most important, the YouTube. Stay in contact with all of us there. Give us those likes. Give us those comments. Slide in our DMs. Love hearing from you guys. The comments this weekend have been great on all our posts. Love seeing you guys there. I always say it. We got the best fans in the business. Love you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I agree to that. They really are the best. That being said, if you listen to the show audio only, make sure you're checking that out on a Cigar Hustler Podcast Network on Spotify. Love those guys. Check out their show. They're doing a great job. Obviously, they've been slinging cigars all weekend, you know, touching on the retail side. Check out Cigar Hustler. They're awesome. Gio, anything?
I mean, great show, guys, for PCA. We hope you love this content that we do for you. We really, you know, sometimes it's a grind, but you guys make this fun.
Definitely not falling on us. You know, I know we're not half wheel, but we try and we love you guys and we try to make it entertaining. And I think that's the most important part. Cigars can be a little rough sometimes.
Yeah.
But try to bring you good content. That being said, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. And if you're on the Patreon page, which you should be, check that out. We'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out, guys.
Adios.